It's tax time in Canada. Have you filed your taxes yet? How high are taxes in Canada? Let's talk about Canadian taxes. Stay with me in today's video to discover the shock, the traps, and the travails of paying taxes in Canada. Hello everyone, my name is Dear Kola. Welcome back to this side of life. And if you're new here, welcome and thank you all for joining me today. As you all know, I am an immigrant to Canada, and before I came to Canada, I had worked many years in Nigeria, in my home country. In Nigeria, back then, we used to pay income taxes, but it was really a ridiculous amount now that I think about it. I mean, it was just a token amount, just to show that you are paying taxes, and maybe if you needed your tax return for something in the future, then you could, get something from the government to say you paid your taxes. But really, I can't even remember what the tax rate was. So you can imagine my shock when I came to Canada and I got my first job, which was a $50,000 per year job. And during my first month, I was already calculating how much I was going to get, in my paycheck. So you can imagine the shock that I got when I saw my paycheck, and almost a quarter of it was already deducted as taxes. So yeah, many people, many immigrants, when they come into Canada, they are really shell-shocked by the income tax that they have to pay out of their paycheck and how high those taxes are. So it is a culture shock that anyone coming to Canada, coming to work in Canada, needs to be prepared for whenever they are coming, because taxes in Canada are on the high side. Before I get into the traps that you need to avoid with Canadian taxes, I want to talk about some of the things that you should know about taxes in Canada. I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except for death and taxes." So in Canada, death and taxes are certainly certain. And like I mentioned, the taxes are kind of on the high side when you compare maybe to other countries in the world. I mean, I'm going to show you what taxes look like for somebody that's earning like $60,000 per year in Canada and in the different provinces. And of course, it depends on which province you are. Some provinces have lower taxes than others. So here are all the taxes that people pay in Canada in the different provinces. Like, people talk about bills in Canada. So your taxes are really your highest bill in the year or in the month, however you do your budgeting. And in Canada, the tax filing deadline is April 30th for individual income taxes and June 15th for self-employed or business taxes. So if you are yet to file your taxes, you are running late, you need to get on it right now because it is almost the end of April. On the brighter side, we pay taxes to the government, and in Canada, I can say that the taxes do fund the way of life and the quality of life that we enjoy in Canada, like the good roads, schools, the hospitals, and all the services that we enjoy. When you see that taxes are being used for these services, then it makes it a little bit more palatable to pay the taxes because you can see what they are being used for. There's also benefits that the government gives you, like if you are pregnant and you go on maternity leave, the government pays you some amount while you are on maternity leave, staying with your child to take care of your child. If you lose your job, there's employment insurance, to where the government pays you some amount of money, a fraction of what you were earning while you were working, just to see you through that period when you are out of a job. I know that politicians in different parts of the world misuse tax money, but when you can see some of the services that these taxes are going towards, then you're a little bit consoled, although sometimes the taxes are just used to feed the big government bureaucracy, and the bureaucracy is expanding to meet the needs of the expanding bureaucracy. Another thing that I would like to say is that it is common knowledge that people who are rich don't actually pay a lot of taxes, and there is a reason for that. They know how to manage their taxes so that they don't pay so much, even though they earn a lot. So there are many ways by which you can pay less taxes and keep more of what you make to yourself rather than paying it out to the government in taxes. So let's look at some of those ways. Some of the ways by which you can pay less taxes is by putting away money into your retirement fund. Like in Canada, we have the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, which is RRSP, that you can take money out of your income and put into an RRSP before tax. That money is deducted from your income before tax so that it reduces your taxable income and also puts you in a lower tax bracket so that you pay less tax. I know in the US, I think that it's called the 401k. Your RRSP money, you can invest the money and it grows in that account. It is locked in until maybe you retire. If you take the money out, you will pay taxes on it. Another way by which you can reduce your taxes is by working a contract job as opposed to a salaried job, or having a business. Because when you do that, then you are able to deduct some of your expenses of working, like your transportation expenses, your rental expenses, and things like that, before taxes are applied to your income. So that's another way to reduce your taxes. And that's what many rich people do. They don't work as a salaried earner, they have a business, or even if they are self-employed, they have a corporation where they work under and then they pay themselves salary. So any amount of money that they make in that corporation will be taxable only after expenses have been deducted from that money. So that helps to pay less tax. It can be a little bit complicated, but if you want me to talk more about paying less tax, then let me know in the comment section below. And if you are enjoying this video and you would like me to make more videos like this, then give the video a thumbs up so that we can reach more people. Thank you very much. Having said all that about taxes, what are the traps that we need to avoid? The first one is not filing your taxes on time. Late filing of taxes has painful financial penalties. If you fail to file your taxes by the deadline, which is April 30th, like I said, for individuals, and June 15th for businesses, then they will charge you 5% on the amount owed immediately, and then 1% every month after that for 12 months, I guess, until the next time that you are required to file your taxes. So it is very expensive to file your taxes late, especially if you owe money. And on top of those penalties, the Canada Revenue Agency will also charge you compound interest of 9% compounded on the balance of the taxes that you are owing. So it is not wise to file your taxes late. And if you don't owe money, you should still file your taxes on time, because any benefits that you are entitled to will be withheld if you have not filed your taxes. So don't fall into that trap of procrastinating or not filing your taxes, because it has penalties. Another trap that you do not want to fall into is the trap of evading tax. There's a thin line between tax avoidance and tax evasion. Tax avoidance is when you take actions to minimize your taxes, like do a retirement savings plan, or you take second credit, or you give donations and you get a tax credit for your donations to charitable organizations and such. So those are tax avoidance, minimizing your tax. But tax evasion is when you underreport your income, or you make fraudulent claims, or you say you have dependents when you don't have dependents. For example, you have fake expenses or falsified records. That is illegal. So you don't want to fall into that trap. And in Canada, and I'm sure everywhere, there are people who will come to you and pitch you all different kinds of ideas on, you can do this or that to reduce your taxes or pay no taxes. Don't fall into those tax schemes that are questionable. That's also why you should involve tax professionals to help you to file your taxes. There are many cheap options around, like I know HR Block and some other tax filing agencies are all over the place, and they will help you. That is their job. They know the rules, they know what is allowed and what is not allowed. So don't fall into the trap of trying to reduce your taxes by fraudulent means, because you can actually go to jail for tax evasion. So don't fall into that trap. And then another trap is don't claim what you are not entitled to. I remember during COVID, the government had these benefits that they were giving to people who had lost their jobs or whose businesses were affected by the pandemic. And I think it was called CERB. I'll put the name on the screen here. And some people fraudulently claimed those benefits. The thing about doing that is that those things are going to come back to bite you. If they find out, because CRA performs audits, and they could choose your tax return for an audit. If they audit you, they are going to ask for all the supporting documents for everything that you have filed. For example, those people that claimed those benefits back in the COVID days, some of them found out that they had to pay back after they discovered that they were fraudulently claimed. So don't think that you are gaming the system or that the government doesn't know. The government knows. So don't fall into the trap of claiming benefits that you are not entitled to. It will come back to bite you. And then finally, don't fall into the trap of not claiming the expenses that you are actually entitled to. So, for example, if you're a business person, you're a sole proprietor, or you have a business in your home, or you have a corporation, don't forget to claim your expenses, like your transportation expenses. If you're using part of your house, you can claim the electricity and some of the utilities that you use because you are using part of your house for your business. So don't leave any money on the table. Don't forget to claim the expenses that you are actually entitled to. So yeah, that is pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about today regarding taxes. And I just wanted to remind everybody that you should remember to file your taxes and file on time, and make sure you take advantage of all the benefits that are out there and all the opportunities to minimize your tax that are also out there. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me again. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. I am really interested in knowing what you think about taxes in Canada, and maybe you live in Canada. What do you think about the taxes? Were you shell-shocked when you got your first paycheck? Let me know in the comment section below. So until I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye.